5 love languages talk that we've been meaning to have. Fireside. What are you feeling right there?
I was wondering, it's your phone in my pocket. I mean, wait.
Wait, you're feeling the wrong pocket.
It's just your phone.
Oh, is it? What is that?
Oh.
What is that? What?
Dumb.
What is it?
Is that a banana in your pocket?
Or you just happy to see me?
Cullen. Inappropriate.
I
Oh
saw
my
it in there. I was
gosh.
like, well, let me just throw that in my pocket real quick before we talk about love languages. I was like, whoa.
Look at her face. She's
No,
like,
Mom and Dad,
gosh,
sorry.
No. Oh, wow. What? Oh, what is going on? Oh, my goodness.
Man, I thought that would be a good little segue there.
It's a little... Anyway.
It's a little what?
It's a little brown and spotty.
Banana.
Why
Anyway.
is my face so close to this?
We have been hinting at our 5 love languages throughout the week, and we've been telling y'all that we wanted to talk about them. We will leave links below on this video.
Why
Sorry.
am I so close? Lean this
There we
way.
go. Hey.
Okay. But just so y'all aren't confused, we're actually filming this video on Wednesday night. Our other footage, like we said, we're a couple days behind now, which has been incredibly helpful for us, especially as we're dealing with these things, because to be honest, that night we kind of ended up getting a little squabble about things. Like, it wasn't major or anything, but it was just like, we were both just kind of like, oh, I'm not gonna like fake being happy right now and talk about love languages. So it's been nice to be able to put it off for a couple days until we are good again, and we've talked about it.
It's been busy too. It's like 11:30 right now.
Yeah.
And the dog's scratching to go out, and if it's not the kids, it's the dogs. So, love languages, 5 love languages. You've been listening to the books, yeah? How do you want to start this?
I love the book, and we have talked about how it has been very helpful for us recently to discover what our love language is. We read the 5 love languages book and took the test. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically, there's 5 different love languages: words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, physical touch, and that's the other one. It must not be important. Oh, gifts. Receiving gifts. It's the one that neither of us on.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So basically what the thing is you always hear, like, you know, love other people like you want to be loved. Okay, well, that's kind of not always the best option in marriages.
Yeah. And
it talks about how you learn about what makes the other person feel loved and how they
tick.
Yeah. And so you want to love them in the way that makes them feel loved. Yeah. So you can sit there all day and clean up the kitchen and take out the trash and do all this stuff and, you know, flex your muscles, but that actually helps more than taking out the trash.
If Arms was on the love language,
oh my gosh, we'd be great.
Logan, Paul, stop showing your arms so much on the internet. My wife is getting me in trouble.
Yeah, I'm having problems with that. No, not really. But so to him, when he's taking out the trash, doing all these things, it's like, and then I'll get mad about something and it's like, well, I took out the trash and I cleaned up the kitchen. I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with me and how much you love me? You know, to me, I'm like, but you didn't hug me when you walked in the door today.
Right.
Or when we were sitting on the couch, you didn't even like put your hand on my leg. Like, come on.
Yeah. So
it's about how the other person perceives your love. And so if you can't tell, usually it's the guy that's like, physical touch is the main thing. And let me just clarify. Physical touch does not necessarily mean like sexual touch.
SEX for all you. If you're under like a certain age, you may not. Are we going to get into all that? Bananas and stuff?
No. I'm just saying. Physical touch doesn't always have to be inappropriate. Sometimes it just means like this. Like, this is not something that you would always. And look, you even just grabbed my hand. That was even nicer. Yeah.
I'm learning, folks. I'm learning.
But it doesn't always just mean that you have to like get freaky or something.
Yeah.
But just like, to me, just being like, you know, I'm one of those people. Like, when I used to spend the night with friends, I would have to be like, by the way, if I wake up like this nightly with you, I'm sorry. I mean, seriously, it's the problem. I like to, you know, be close to people. That's how I feel like I show love and how I feel loved.
I wonder if because we took the test a long time ago when we first got married, and I wonder if it's changed over the years.
I don't remember what ours used to be.
And a lot of people have commented and said, you know, every so often you should take the test because as a couple we've changed, as people we've changed. We're not the same people we were when we first met. And then when you have kids and go through all these life events, you change. So your love language could possibly change over the years as well. But take the test, link is below, and get your husbands on board too, because that's the hardest thing. It took me a month to like take the test again. I'm like, I already took this. You know what my love language is. I'm not taking this crap again.
To be honest, I literally had no recollection of what yours was.
No, I don't. I couldn't
like I remember that mine was physical touch, just because I knew that. But okay, so we haven't even said what ours are.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I talked about physical touch, but so the highest you can get is a 12. I got an 8 on quality time, a 7 on physical touch, a 7 on words of affirmation, a 6 on acts of service, and a 2 on receiving gifts. So basically the top 4 were pretty much all the same number. And I told Cullen, I was like, I'm not sure that means I'm just like really high maintenance and you should do all those things, or if it's like, you can basically show me you love me in a lot of different ways.
Right. Well, and that's the cool thing about this little quiz, if you want to call it that, is there's no right or wrong answer.
It's like a survey, I guess.
Yeah, and so like I said in a previous video, I believe, is like I get like quiz anxiety, test anxiety. I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to that. But like I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna say the right thing and blah blah blah. But it's just the way they word stuff. And this it literally takes like 5 to 10 minutes. Y'all take it and see what your love language is. But then once you know what the other person's love language is, and once you know what your love language is, that's like when you start to like really think about things differently.
Well, and it doesn't, it goes both ways too. It's like, it changes the way I see the things he does for me, and realize, you know, when I'm sitting here going, we went the whole day and never even like physically touched each other. We never hugged, we never kissed, we never like held hands or whatever. And so I'm like, did he not like me today? But then now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, but he like got all the kids' lunches ready and got the kids dressed and got them out the door, and you know, just. So
it's like a catch-22 essentially, or like a, I don't know, like my love language, my top one is acts of service, I believe.
Yes.
And then quality time.
But wait.
I had 10 points on acts of service.
So that's like a big one for you.
Yeah.
And then a 9 on quality time. So those are like your big top 2. Acts of service and quality time. You're just jumping ahead of yourself.
Sorry,
I know what you're gonna say.
You know what I'm saying.
And then you got a 5 on words of affirmation, 4 on physical touch, and 2 on receiving gifts. So if you look at this, it's like acts of service was my second lowest, and physical touch was your second lowest, and those were our highest. They flip-flopped.
It's so crazy, like the opposites attract thing.
Well, so it makes you think more about how, for one, how he's expressing love to me, but then it makes me also realize I need to make sure that it doesn't mean as much to him if I like come up and give him a hug and like, hey, how was your day? He's like, okay, well, she's just like trying to get in my
bananas.
Anyway, but to me, I'm just like, that's just how I'm trying to like be affectionate to you, and you kind of have to see that that's how I'm expressing love to you. But then it makes him kind of stop and think, maybe I should be a little bit more affectionate in those ways.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's really weird, and like we've even seen it in our kids. We're like, oh, Gaines
is totally physical
totally
touch.
physical touch.
Like
and we've even said that, I think. Did you say that in a vlog? Like, she'll come up and say, Mommy, I love you. Mommy, I love you. And then Katie won't even say I love you too or anything. She'll just put her hand on Gaines like this, and Gaines will just be like, like that's all she wanted was just like that physical touch.
There was one day we were like laying on the sofa together, and I just put my arm around her and like hugged her.
Yeah.
And she goes, I love you too, Mommy. And I was like, I didn't even say it, but she, like, that's how she interprets it. It's just crazy. It's different people have different.
And then there's days where I'm like, you did so good today, Gaines. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, giving her amazing words of affirmation. And she's just like, where's my Pop-Tart? And I'm like, what did you just say? Did you not hear my compliment? And, you know, so it makes you look at life and things a little bit differently. And like the other day we were like talking about Brooks, and we're like, oh god, his is like
what even is his?
What is his?
He does not like physical touch, just like you. Like you and Brooks are so similar, and me and Gates are so similar.
It's so crazy.
But I think it's important too to know there is love languages for children also, like a book on that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
And Did you not listen to the intro that we all listened to together in the car?
I was thinking about us,
Anyways,
not the kids. Yeah.
But no, there is one for kids, and I think it's important for us as parents to know how we should express love to our children so that they know we love them. Because like you said, Gaines may not be getting anything out of that, and she will sit there and like just want to just like wallow on you or hug you, and you're just kind of like, okay, stop, like why are you on me?
Yeah.
But then you realize like she just wants affection from you. So
we had a bad storm last night, and this morning she just rolled over and just put her hand on my face and just started rubbing my beard, and just slowly slowed down and just slowly just fell back asleep. And I was just like, daggone, this is your mom made over. Am I sleeping? Like, I was just like, what is going on? How did this even happen?
Well, that one morning she was in our bed and I got up and she was like, Daddy, will you
just snuggle me?
Yeah. And I was walking out of the room and I heard her go, no, Daddy, put your arm over me.
Yeah. And if I don't like cuddle her like this, she is not satisfied.
Same.
It is insane.
Same.
It is
I'm right
insane.
Here with you.
And it all goes back to kind of like where you grew up and how you grew up, and that's all like marriage counseling 101 stuff, I guess. But like I just never, I don't know, my dad was never like that, and I just.
Well, but
like,
my parents weren't really physically affectionate either, and that's why sometimes I think it can.
Right.
We talked about this in our other video, so we won't talk too much about it. But we just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that. I know a lot of y'all have expressed either you're like struggling in your marriage, or maybe things are great, and who knows, they could even actually maybe be better. Yeah. Like it's.
Well, and this is just a tiny baby step too. I know there's lots of other books and stuff, and you're listening to another one, and there was an apology quiz too. That's a whole different thing.
We could just get on a whole different
Yeah, there's an apology quiz survey too, and that's even crazy. You were the whole night. You were like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense now. Like, why didn't he apologize like this? And blah, blah, blah.
I'm actually not reading the book. I'm listening to the book.
Right.
But listening to the book, like once we took the quiz, it tells you about what each one means and how you can express your love in these ways. But listening to the book or reading the book, whatever, is just like even so much more eye-opening. So it's something I feel like whether you're having trouble in your marriage, whether you're having trouble with your kids, whether you're not having any trouble, it's just really helpful to like see things in a different light. And so we're, as we're trying to improve our marriage and work on things, we're trying really hard to think of each other in those ways.
Right.
And I don't know, we just wanted to kind of share it with y'all and see what yours are, if you take it, if your spouse takes it.
I want to hear what y'all's are. Like, leave a comment below and let us know.
Or like, I want your spouse to take it, or your significant other, or your whatever.
Especially you dudes, like seriously, like I was so hesitant to, because I was like, I've been there, done that, I've wore the shirt, like I'm not doing this again. You drugged me to the freaking first marriage class, like when we first got married, and now I'm just like, okay, I know what everything is. I know how to get married and be married and all that, but now I'm just like,
now you're like, wait, maybe.
Whoa,
don't,
hang on. Just you, me well, it just proves that marriage and relationships take work, and we're a prime example of that. So,
well, and it's always a work in progress. I mean,
it's ever changing.
It totally is.
With
so
2, 3, 4 kids, like it's pets that need to go pee, bananas in your pocket. Things are constantly changing all the time. So y'all be sure to take the quiz and let us know what your results are.
And how yours compare to your significant other.
And also, if you want to see more of these little fireside chats, I think these are kind of cool if we do these like once a week or something.
We kind of didn't even have a plan for what we're talking about right now, and I feel like we're all over the place. But yeah, no, I would like to kind of share our progress and like what's going on with us as we go along. And yeah.
That's okay. I guess that's it. That's our love language. Like,
one more thing I'll say is just one more thing. I know I gotta go, but just one more thing I was gonna say, which you were about to say earlier, is there's different ways of
quality time
within the love languages.
Oh my gosh!
So there's the difference between like quality time for Cullen is like being in the same room, sitting across the room, looking at our phones together. No, not really, but like,
no, seriously, like we'll be in my chair, her chair, and like. But that's quality time to me, talking about deep life, intimate things. But quality time to her is like sitting in the bed, cuddling like this, talking about intimate, deep things. Like, no pun intended.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's different based on your...
So you gotta even go further than just the language. You gotta
Right.
think about the different types of the language and the different, you know,
So,
all the things.
Just like you said, physical touch doesn't mean we're going to get it on.
Right.
It just means like
well,
physical
and
touch.
this,
Where's that banana?
this does mean something to me, but like this means even more. So yeah, go get the banana and let's have dinner.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. That does it for today's vlog. I'm gonna go do some more laundry, and we will see what we do next.
I really do appreciate you doing laundry. That whole skit was all Cullen's idea. Don't think I was just being mean to him. I do appreciate all your acts of service.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate your quality time and
physical touch.
Words of
is the one.
affirmation.
Yeah, that too.
Bye.